Why don't we talk through the
Oh.
situation with Activision Blizzard? You've done
Oh,
the prep on
okay.
this topic.
Yes.
Um, the 1,000-foot view, ladies and gentlemen, is that Activision Blizzard's alleged mistreatment of women and minorities, particularly women, in the workplace has now gotten to the point where they are being sued by the state of California. This is not like one complainant is like, they were mean to me. This is like, whoa, hold on a
Yeah,
second.
this is like super bad.
All right,
Super
talk
bad.
us through it, Luke.
Blizzard over the last little while has been Blizzard Activision in general has been in a pretty rough spot. It has been described by certain investors as a scheme to just give as massive of bonus checks as possible to Bobby Kotick. It's most of Blizzard's games have been in some form of decline. They're one of the only developers of a consistent online game that saw a massive decrease in players over the pandemic, which is crazy.
I mean, we should revisit that point later and like talk about what that means. Actually, I'm going to add that to the doc because that is a
30%
like, how did
decrease,
you
if I
manage
remember
this?
correctly.
Yeah,
which is crazy. And like if you're running, if one of your main titles is an MMO and there was a pandemic where people had to stay inside for obscene amounts of time and you lost, if I remember correctly, this is not in my notes, I think it's like 30% of your player base. Like, what are you doing? Okay. Anyways, tons of their old guard employees have been quitting, and then now they're being sued by the state of California. I'm just going to go through my notes more specifically because there's a lot of them and I want to kind of fire through them. The video game company behind World of Warcraft and Candy Crush, that's the Activision King side of things, is being sued over allegations of its frat boy culture and treatment towards female employees. A 2-year investigation into the company revealed discrimination against women, specifically pregnant employees, sexual harassment, retaliation, and unequal pay. The company said it was cooperative with the agency in its investigation and that the DFEH, which is the agency looking into this, refused to inform them of certain allegations it had discovered in cases of misconduct in the past. Activision Blizzard Inc. said action was taken to address issues. This part, where there's going to be a lot of these parts, I'm going to try to keep going through it, but there's quite a few of these things that drive me absolutely nuts. This is one of them. If you dive into it significantly more, the DFEH has brought up a lot of problems, and Blizzard has been taking action on them. And now that they are suing them, Blizzard's like, whoa, you didn't tell us that we did anything wrong. So ridiculous. Anyways, the company responded to the allegations. The company responded to the allegations by saying that the picture the agency painted was not the Blizzard workplace of today. A lot of their comments have been saying that this was stuff from the past. It cited new anti-harassment trainings, a confidential tip line for employees to report violations, and performance-based compensation as its efforts improve. But the plaintiffs said that the pervasive frat boy workplace culture continues to thrive. Women are subject. Some of this stuff is just like,
to be clear, all alleged. Just
all alleged.
Can
yes.
I just
we'll have to wait
do a
till
little
this
bit of
through.
covering here?
Yes, that's fair. Plaintiffs said in the office, women are subject to cube crawls,
which already sounds disgusting.
Yes, which involves males drinking excessively, which I know this is a thing in some like modern Web 3.0 offices and stuff, but I've never understood it. Being able to drink at work is very weird to me. I don't drink, so maybe that's why, but it just seems really odd. But males would drink excessively as they crawled their way through various cubicles and engaged in inappropriate behavior towards the women. What? The investigation also found that male employees showed up to work hungover, played video games while delegating their responsibilities to female employees, and joked about rape and their sexual encounters. One male supervisor allegedly told a male subordinate to buy a prostitute to cure his bad mood. Former senior creative director for the company, Alex Afrasiabi, I hope I said that right. He has an NPC in game, by the way, that people have been running up to in the last couple of days and spitting on, which is highly entertaining. The department said that he was permitted to engage in blatant sexual harassment with little to no repercussions. That included hitting on female employees, telling them he wanted to marry them, putting his arms around them to the point where other male employees had to pull him off of other fellow female employees. All this, again, allegedly, but we'll see where this goes. The company also fired back at state allegations that its toxic culture even drove one female employee to suicide while on a business trip due to a sexual relationship that she had been having with her male superior, according to the suit. At a holiday party before her death, the woman's male coworkers allegedly passed around a photo of her vagina, according to the suit. Following her death, police reportedly found that her unnamed male supervisor, that again she was on the business trip with where she killed herself, had brought a butt plug and lubricant on the business trip. Blizzard has said that they are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFEH to drag into the complaint.
Oh, hold on a second. Are you sure? No, I think that's a typo. I'm sure that the statement was, we are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of our employees.
Nope.
That's what it said, right?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because it seems like that's probably what the statement should say, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, here, why don't you try this again? Read the real statement this time, Luke.
We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFEH.
No, hold on a second. The DFEH, those are the ones that are trying to fix the culture there and make it a safe place to work.
Yep.
Okay, so can you please try one more time to actually get the statement right? Thanks, Luke.
We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFEH to drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case and with no regard to her grieving family.
Did they really just play that card? Did
what
I think happened just happen?
It's just absolutely infuriating. Like, oh man, it would be fantastic if this was brought to court and everything was all okay and stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of dirt and there's a lot of people, like, this happens all the time, right? Either one person steps forward with a really strong foot, or in this case, the government of California steps forward with a really strong foot. And that inspires a lot of other people to stand up and speak, right? And that's happening right now. There's tons of people standing up and speaking. And sometimes, like, not every claim is true, right? A lot of this is allegedly, but there is so much dirt here that I find it very unlikely that a very significant amount of this is not legit.
I mean, there's a famous saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And when you've got a little bit of smoke, you might have a really small fire. When you've got a lot of smoke, the odds that the fire is pretty big, they increase a fair bit. Yeah, I mean,
so there's been two internal responses, and this is actually very interesting to me. They're far too long to actually go into.
Yeah.
But it's interesting looking at both of them. One of them is from J. Allen Brack. He's the president of Blizzard specifically. And the other one is from Fran Townsend. He's an executive for Activision Blizzard, and he was the security advisor to the Bush administration from 2004 to 2007. J. Allen Brack's response is pretty straightforward. He's been talking about how there's been a lot of emotions, and he's looking into the case specifically. He says, it goes without saying it's completely unacceptable that anyone at the company faces discrimination and harassment. It goes without saying that everyone should feel safe to work here. It goes without saying that it takes courage to come forward. Stuff like that. There's that response where, and he talks about how, like, a company is more than a legal construct, and, like,
yeah,
the leadership, and I feel angry, sad, and a host of other emotions. I feel blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He's like,
I've got it up on screen.
Yeah. I guess he's trying to be empathetic. The other one goes, as the executive sponsor of the ABK Employee Women's Network and our chief compliance officer, I wanted to reach out to you. And where's his statements here? Sorry.
I know this has been difficult for many of us. A recently filed lawsuit presented a distorted and untrue picture of our company, including factually incorrect, old, and out of context stories, some from more than a decade ago. So the thing is, and I've had this
Yeah.
conversation a number of times in my life. I am all about forgive and forget. I'm all about moving past things. There are definitely people that I interact with and that I have relationships with that I feel have harmed me in the past, but I was able to move past them because at some point they made amends in such a way that I, not they, I felt was appropriate. So the thing is, the fact that something is old, the fact that something happened a long time ago does not actually make it in any way more okay than if it happened yesterday. If it happened 10 years ago, but you never did anything about it, never apologized, never made amends on the victim's terms, then it's not old. It's fresh. It might have scars on it, but the wound is absolutely not healed. You kind of get what I mean? So if things are factually incorrect, okay, sure, let's talk about that. But if something is old, that does not inherently mean that it's not horrible still. And out of context, I don't know. I mean, really, anything Luke was talking about, I can't think of a context where cube crawl makes any sense for like a safe workspace. Because the thing you got to understand is that a safe workspace is not defined as safe for the people who are like chill with it. It's defined as safe for the people who that behavior makes them feel unsafe. I had a really funny conversation. I'm going to keep it anonymous. Luke will know who I'm talking about. I had a really funny conversation about this media company whose studio I was visiting, who had only recently banned people from bringing their dogs to the office with them all day. And I laughed, not realizing that this was like a CEO level initiative to have dogs at the office. And I was like, well, that's the stupidest thing ever. And they go, well, actually, blah, 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 as a person who loves their dog so huggy muggy much, it's good to have them there. And I'm like, yeah, right. But your no offense, but your little feelings about your dog do not outweigh someone with a dog allergy being physically uncomfortable at work. You have like 40 people working here. The odds that someone is like
pretty high, actually. There's quite a few people that have dog allergies. Sorry, keep going.
The odds that someone is very uncomfortable because of your little feelings is really, really high. So if your little feelings are that it's okay to drink and be rowdy and inappropriate at work, which, let's face it, is what often happens when people drink too much, then that does not override someone else saying, well, no, your behavior makes me feel unsafe. And I don't know. I guess I'm about to kind of get on a bit of a soapbox here, but I just don't buy the excuse I was drunk. And take this for what it's worth. Take this for a completely ignorant speech from someone who doesn't drink. I don't. But to me, I was drunk is not an excuse, because at some point you were sober. You made the decision to put the glass in your hand while you had all your mental faculties. You knew where you were and what you were supposed to be doing, and you consumed alcohol. So I just don't buy it. Anyway, that's my aside. Carry on.
Yeah, no, there is a lot more to this story. So if you're interested, dive into it. It's a very fresh story, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out soon. There's been a lot of very sad but interesting stories that people have been coming forward with. If you want to dive into those, but yeah, this is horrendous.
It's not a good look.
No. Not at all.
All right. I mean, there's not really much else to say about it. Boy, are there ever some bad takes in the chat. Allergies aren't real. It's just a way to control the situation. I mean, tell that to someone who like died of an allergic reaction.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's an interesting take.
okay, got
If
it.
I eat peanuts, I die. That's not real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. I guess I'm out there with that hot take now. There's definitely some people who are not happy about it, but I'm not going to take it back. I'm sorry. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see
I'd,
it. I'm
I'd love to take a dog to work. It doesn't mean that I should be able
I
to.
would love to have an office cat. You know why we don't have an office cat?
Allergies?
Well, yeah, that, and I don't think I could rely on people to keep the door closed, and I've lost enough cats from people leaving the door open, and I just don't think I could take it. But yes, also allergies. And it's like I would love to have a cat, and as CEO, if I deemed there to be a cat in the office, I would get a lot of support. There's a lot of people who would love to have an office cat, and B, I could just do it. But that would make me a so I don't have an office cat. I keep my cat at home. Actually, I mean, let's just do a quick, actionable here. So, if you work in the games industry and you're someone who's like, I'm chill, I'm a good one, just see what you can do to kind of step it up one notch. Don't just be silent. If you're silent, you're an enabler. Thanks. That's about it.